Hi friends, Dr. Jay Mehta again. This is a masterclass on intralipid infusion. Remember, it is extensively used and abused in reproductive immunology in India. Basically, it is made up of soybean oil emulsion 20%, and it is, of course, a solution which is available in the market for parenteral infusion, extensively used in the ICUs since quite some period of time. How does it exactly act? It basically goes and acts upon the natural killer cells. Remember, guys, we are always worried about the uterine natural killer cells as far as reproductive immunology is concerned. On the natural killer cells, it makes sure that the lipids which are surrounding that get nicely coated, especially the signaling PPAR receptors. This is all that you are supposed to remember. When it goes and coats it, the activation gets neutralized, as a result of which the toxic embryo gets neutralized and the embryo can get beautifully implanted and grown inside the endometrium. This is the basic. However, does it go and act in all cases and does it actually act very nicely in all the cases is something which we currently do not know. But these are the only molecular mechanisms which we have to understand and remember when we want to explain this to our patient in a slightly detailed manner, predominantly for the inquisitive patients. Now comes the question, do we need to use it in all the patients of RPI? Remember, the pelvis should be normal. No endometriosis, no adenomyosis, no fibroids, no polyps. Peripheral nuclear NK cell activity should be more than 12%, though it is not a compulsory recommended test. All right. Simultaneously, the embryo should be genetically normal. That means it should be a euploid PGTA tested embryo. If all these two, three things are achieved, then basically we can probably try to give intralipids to a patient like this who is having idiopathic recurrent pregnancy loss. That means ANA, anti-TPO, all the other known causes like antithrombins, any clotting agents, everything has to be ruled out and everything has to be negative for us to actually start intralipids. Various protocols are available, but basically this 20% which is available in 250 ml. Basically, it is to be administered at 100 ml every hour, and usually it will finish in around 2 to 3 hours. Okay. Now, how exactly? So we normally recommend to give this to the patient slightly before the embryo transfer, or if a patient is trying naturally, then just before the reproductive window. Okay. So what is slightly before? Let's assume your embryo transfer is scheduled for Monday. So you give 1 Monday before, 7 days before. If the fertile window is going to come, let's say on Monday, then you give it 1 Monday before. Just a basic bottom line which we follow in our unit. Is there any method of monitoring this? Then remember, you can probably try to do a peripheral NK cell count, and if the count has got down to be less than 12%, then maybe you think that the success of this therapy has been achieved. Now, statistically, one thing has been proven that there is a limited benefit in selected patients. Now, this is the take home point. Intralipids is easily available. That does not mean you go and administer intralipids to everyone. Even the data available is for lesser number of patients, right? Be careful because it is not the gold standard. It has to be used only in patients with idiopathic recurrent implantation failures. It cannot be generalized and used for all patients like how it is currently used in our country. If you are a patient or a practitioner, remember, be selective and be very, very cautious when you use such molecules.